Anyone? Okay. It's not showing any graphics. Oh, share screen. I think that's what it does.
Oh, yeah. See? You don't need to. Yes, you just now share.
Where do I share the screen?
You got to open a window. And so the same browser that we're in right now, open up the window, open up a
New tab
of where you want to show the screen up.
The only options is a ChatGPT thing.
It's not the only option. You just have a million tabs open. Look at all those tabs.
Oh, okay. Where's the yappums? Before someone joins, I need to get right here. Okay, everyone, I'm live. So, hello, and yeah, we're just going to do our way too early prediction for 2028 and a Q&A if anyone ends up talking in chat. Right now, no one is here, but yeah, here, I'm going to try different scenarios for this. Newsom / Whitmer, and then we're going to have for the Republicans Vance, JD Vance, and Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah, so this is our scenario here. Okay. Okay. So, this is our scenario here. We're just going to wait for people to start joining. Newsom is going to be Safe California, Safe Washington, and we're going to have Safe Hawaii, Safe Connecticut, Safe Vermont, Safe Maryland, Safe Massachusetts, Safe Delaware, Safe Rhode Island, Safe DC, and those are our safe states, as well as Maine's 1st Congressional District will be in the safe column for Newsom and Whitmer. So, for the safe column for JD Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy, they have Alaska, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska at large. We also have Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Indiana, West Virginia, Missouri, and South Carolina, as well as Maine's 2nd Congressional District. So, they have a slight advantage over Newsom and Whitmer with 126 electoral votes to Newsom and Whitmer's 112 electoral votes. They're going to win Oregon by about 14 points. I say Colorado by about 12 or 13. Actually, I'm going to put Colorado in the safe by about 15, I would say. And then we're going to have New York at about 14 or 13%. New Jersey is interesting. I'll put it in the likely for now at about 6 or 7 points for Newsom. Also, we're going to have Minnesota at about 7, and then New Hampshire at about 7 as well. We will also have Maine at large at about 6% for them, and Virginia at about 7 or 8. Illinois is also in that column at only 8 points still. Didn't even shift to the left. Okay, Vance and Ramaswamy have in the likely column. They have Arizona. Trump did really well in Arizona this year. They're going to win it by about 5.5. And then North Carolina, they're going to win by about 6. He also has Texas at about 13, Florida at about 12, Ohio at about 11, and Iowa at about 14 for them. So that gives them 246. And then we also have Newsom and Whitmer getting the Nebraska second by about 4%. And New Mexico as well, they have by about 3 to 4 points. We also have Vance and Ramaswamy taking Nevada by about 3.5, Georgia at about 2, and then Pennsylvania is going to be too close for now. Newsom and Whitmer, I have a feeling, are going to win Michigan by about 2, which gives us 241 to 268 so far. And it's pretty close, but I think in this scenario, Vance would pull off the W with a slight win in Wisconsin by about 0.8%, and then also a slight win in Pennsylvania by about 0.3%. So, yeah, I do think they would win 297 to 241. It would be a very close election, though, with Newsom and Whitmer picking off Michigan and Nebraska's second congressional district. So, if anyone is... No, we have people here, guys. Oh my, we actually have people here. Okay, type in chat if you want to hear any questions answered. Is anyone here now? I think people are here. Okay, so let's get some questions in the chat if anyone wants to ask them. I do think Shapiro will be on the ticket in 2028, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of different scenarios that could happen right now, but I do think it's interesting that you think that, because I see Shapiro being a vice president, but I also see like Newsom being the president. So I do think they could have a ticket of that sort, but I'm not sure. Anyone else have a question? Deal with monster. Okay, let's see a scenario where what you want happens. Okay, so we're going to have Shapiro and Whitmer on the ticket, and then we will have them up against Vance and I would say, what's a different... Oh, we could have DeSantis on the ticket, and then we'll have this scenario playing out. I think Shapiro and Whitmer will do extremely well on the West Coast, all three safe, as well as Hawaii, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, Connecticut. Even New York would be in the safe column, as well as Maine's 1st Congressional District, as well as Colorado, I would think. And then Vance and DeSantis would have Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas, Nebraska's third congressional district, first congressional district, Nebraska at large. Kansas would still be safe, albeit closer. Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri, barely. I don't think South Carolina would be at that point. Indiana and Ohio and West Virginia, as well as Kentucky and Tennessee, would be in the safe column. However, I do think second congressional district of Maine and Alaska will be in the safe column. Shapiro and Whitmer will also be winning the great state of Michigan by about probably 4 points at that point. I would say they would probably pull off the win in Nebraska's second congressional district in the safe column, or likely column, by about maybe 6 or 7. But I do think Vance and DeSantis would win Iowa by about 7, Ohio by about 8, Texas by about 5.5, and Florida by about 8 or 9, considering it shifts this year, as well as South Carolina maybe by like 11. But Shapiro and Whitmer will also win Minnesota, of course, by about 8, New Hampshire by about 7.5, Maine at large by about 7. I would say New Mexico at this point would be likely 5.5 or something, as well as Virginia and Illinois and New Jersey at that point. So I do think they would actually win, but I do think they would. Vance and DeSantis would pull off the win in Arizona by maybe 3. And then Shapiro and Whitmer would tilt Nevada by about maybe 0.5%. And I do think they would win in Wisconsin by about 0.3, Pennsylvania by like 0.2. I do think Vance and DeSantis would keep North Carolina by about a tilt margin, maybe 0.8. But I do think Shapiro and Whitmer would pull off the win in Georgia by about 2. Okay, anyone have any more questions? Okay. We still got one. We still have the dead wit monster. I'm glad to see more kids that are interested in this stuff. I'm 11, and I think I'm the only kid in my class who cares. Nice to see someone else around my age that does too. Well, thank you. That's really kind words coming from the Deal Wit Monster. I thank you for the question. And who do you think will win in 2028? Just curious. Oh, we got another person in here now. 2 people. Okay. I do think that we should go back to the map and see if that other person has any suggestions for it. But I do think at this point, Shapiro and Whitmer would win 292 to Vance and DeSantis' 246 electoral votes in that scenario, because they're both extremely popular governors in the Midwest. But I thank you for those kind words, Deal Wit Monster. Shout out to him maybe coming in the next video. Do you think I should post about other things or make like a second channel at all? Anyone? Yeah, I do think that as well. It probably does depend on how he wins, but I don't think it will be a Republican landslide next time, considering I had like 3-point errors on average in the swing states. But it definitely does depend that but I do think Vance definitely will be on the Republican ticket. I agree with you. I used to think DeSantis and Haley, but now I have to think that the Vance would win. I may shout you out in the next video. Oh yeah, I love that game. The new campaign trail, that's a pretty good game. Is that your it's a good game, but like I like modern politics more, but I used to be like a really big election history guy, if you would have seen me like 6 months ago. Okay, have any more scenarios you want me to do? Okay. Well, we're going to do a scenario where, how about maybe that we could do the scenario where we have, for the Democrat nominee, we have maybe I don't know, let's just say for some reason they decide to put Walz on the ticket. And then this would just be an experiment, Walz, and we'll put the Cooper governor of North Carolina guy, and then we'll have the Republican ticket as a Vance, but we'll have a different vice president pick. We'll have him pick maybe Joe Lombardo, that senator from Nevada. Actually, no, we'll have Brian Kemp on the ticket because he's a swing state governor. So Walz and Cooper would start off with Cooper and Washington would Washington and California would be safe in the safe column. We'd have Hawaii, DC, Maryland, Delaware. I wouldn't say New Jersey. That's a stretch. Actually, this would probably be a Republican landslide in the scenario. No one cares about these governors. We would probably have a similar scenario to what I predicted now, but a little more liberal. I would say that Alaska, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska's 3rd, Nebraska's 1st district, Nebraska at large, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and Iowa in the safe column. I'm not sure about Florida. I think Florida would be, as well as the state of South Carolina. For the margins for the likely states, we would have probably Oregon at about a 13-point win, Colorado at about 10, Illinois probably still at 8. I think New York would be 10. Connecticut and Rhode Island would be 11 points. And then we would also have Virginia at 11, 10 points, I would say. And then they would definitely win Maine's 2nd congressional district. Vance would in the safe column. I would say Walz and Cooper would probably win Delaware by only 10 points, which is not that good. I would say Vance would probably win Wisconsin by 5, and then Michigan by 7. And I would say Pennsylvania by 8, and then North Carolina by 9 points, Georgia by 6, Arizona by about 7, and Nevada by 5.5. Has anyone got any more questions? Walz, yeah, he's getting smoked. He would never win for this game. The deal with Monsters being the most active in chat, he's the only one who sent messages. I want to hear a message from the other person that's in here. I know there's at least 2 people. But at least I got someone watching. Last time I did this, there was 0 people. I do think that, yeah, Walz would definitely get smoked. I also think that we would go to Kansas. Definitely, Texas would get by 10 points a win, and then Walz and Cooper would probably get Minnesota by 2 points. New Mexico by 3. I would say New Hampshire by 2. Maine at large by 1 or so. And then Nebraska 2nd, they would get definitely by 1.5. They would also get New Jersey definitely by 4 points. And then Vance and Kemp would win 312 to 226 this election, I'm pretty sure, in this scenario. Let's look at the odds at Poly Market. Okay, so we're going to share a different. Let's share a So I'm now going to start it. Oh, Mr. B. Oh, I love those videos. The Mr. P historical election videos. Those are my favorite videos. Those are like the best ones. Gosh, I wish we had more than 2 people in here. You are the only one asking questions. Deal with monster. Um, Mr. Terry, I don't know who that is. I heard of blogging through history. I haven't really watched him though. It seems like you're like a historical election guy. Are you? Gosh, do you have a channel? I would subscribe to it if you want. That's like the best. You are the only. Yes, I do watch Mr. Beat sometimes. Mr. Terry, I don't know who that is. Can you tell me who Mr. Terry is? Let's do a different scenario now. I do think that we could do a Senate election scenario if you want to do that for like 2026 or 2028 or something, Senate scenario. Okay, so the Democrats would definitely win Washington and California. Republicans would win Wyoming, Utah, Nebraska's, both districts. Montana, North Dakota, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, West Virginia, and then they would Ohio. But I would say the Democrats would also win Hawaii by safe margin. Definitely New York. Massachusetts, yeah. Vermont, yes. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, Maryland, probably by safe margin. Republicans win Texas and Florida by safe margin. Did you see those margins? The Republicans have definitely taken control of the Senate. Well, the Republicans already took control of my map. The Democrats would probably win. I would say Nevada's more of a toss-up state. Democrats probably likely win for Minnesota. Probably win. Angus King would definitely win his race in Maine for another re-election, as well as New Jersey and New Mexico. Republicans could take Pennsylvania again. McCormick would be running for re-election, I would say by like 3 against any Democrat opponent. And then I would also say the Democrats win Nevada by a lean margin, maybe like 3. And then I would also say the Republicans win like, I would say Arizona by like very close. It would be very close, but I think they would manage to beat out Ruby Galeo. By the way, I think Carrie like still has a viable path to the Senate. I still think she does. Although it's very small. Yeah, Democrats would definitely take Rogers would take Wisconsin. The Michigan guy would take Michigan, and then also they would have a likely win in Virginia. So that would bring it to 54 Republicans, 46 Democrats. So that would be my 2028 prediction for the Senate. What do you guys think the candidates would be? I want to know. I just want to know. Curious. I'm in New York. What state are you in? I'm in California. We're both in liberal states. Okay. Do you guys want to see any second channels? I'm just curious. Deal with Monster. Do you want to see any? Okay. New York. New York's a pretty liberal state, but it's actually trended to the right. So is California. Gavin Newsom, I really don't want to see reelected governor. He's quote Trump-proofing the state. Okay. If you guys want to see any second channels, what would they be? Would it be any of these topics? Vacations. I would say most likely Not any of those topics, cruising, vacations, election history, or Minecraft? Do you want to see any of that sort? Okay, anyway, we're going to do one more scenario of Deal with Monsters Request. Then we'll end the stream. I got to eat lunch, you know. Deal with monster. Okay. Oh, 1960. You want me to play Campaign Trail on your channel? Well, I actually tried to do a Minecraft speedrun on my channel one time. Yeah, it didn't really work. I may have cheated. Okay, but that's it for the stream, guys. Thank you, Deal It Monster, and the other guy just for watching in the background. And I will see you later. Bye.